Good morning, student. Welcome to Blue Star Higher Secondary School. This is economics class, chapter 9, Development Experience in India. Introduction. At the time of independence in 1947, India was a typically backward economy. There is a reason behind it. Dear student, you know very well about the situation of our country before independence, because we are severely looted by the British people and we treated as a colony nation, and also we handled by the people for just a consumer of their product, and the people not worried about the development of India and its existing industrialist. Okay, so there is no country, அதாவது இந்தியா அப்படின்ற ஒரு நாடு ஒரு அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷனுக்குள்ளே இருந்துச்சான்றதே நம்ம சொல்ல முடியாது இல்லைங்களா. என்டையர்லி அண்டர் த ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் தி பிரிட்டிஷ் பீப்புள். வி கம்ப்ளீட்லி ட்ரீட் அஸ் ஏ ஸ்லேவ். வி லாஸ்ட் த என்டையர் ஃப்ரீடம். ஓகே, அவுட் ஆஃப் தி கிரேட் பீப்புள் அண்ட் தேர் ஸ்ட்ரகிள்ஸ், now we feeling the or consuming the freedom air. We must feel proud of the people and hats up them. Okay, come to the point. So the Indian economics is very backward, and also we are very poor in technologically and scientific capabilities and industrialization. Low productivity in agriculture sector, because those time we have the only source of livelihood is agriculture sector, that also severely affected by the land tenure system. You know very well, during British period there was three type of land tenure system they are practiced. One is Jamindari system, second Mahalwari system, third one is right-to-war system. Among the three systems, the farmers or the person who is directly participated in the agricultural activities was severely affected. He is not completely enjoy the benefit of his work. In the name of tax, that is land tax, he was severely hit by the administrator. The person who is engaged for collecting land tax from the farmers, they are behaving very rudely. Okay, my dear students, so this was our situations. Means of transport and communications were underdeveloped, also in the field of education, health, sanitation and social security, everything backward. There is no social security for individual. There is nothing to speak about health, even education. Nobody worried about the sanitation. Okay, everything backward. People said number of development was taken by the British people in India, everything for their own sake, not for the favor of Indian peoples. But at the same time, one thing I would like to say here, education, what we now speaking and listening and utilizing, the education is the gift of course, generalization of education. Education to all is the gift of the people. Next, the problem of extensive poverty and widespread unemployment, both resulting in low standard of living. So நம்ம இந்திய மக்களுடைய வாழ்க்கை தரம், living standard is very very low because of the extensive poverty and widespread of unemployment. There is no employment opportunity for the common peoples. The only source is agriculture, that also backward. The year 1991 is an important landmark in the history of Indian economics for correcting the severe economic crisis in the form of serious balance of payment problem. India introducing a set of policies known as structural reform. I was directly entered into the lesson. Okay, Minister, already I told you, out of struggle, we get the freedom. From the freedom, the day itself, we start the struggling to stabilizing our economic status. There is no productive sectors in our country. That's why our former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru suggests follow the mixed economic system, that is existence of both private and public sectors. That is, we need private people to support in the field of economics. Okay, employment opportunity, the generation of employment opportunity is not possible by the government alone. That's why the former Prime Ministers Jawaharlal Nehru suggest and invite the private people also participate in the economic field. This was insisted in 1991 policy. After 1991, the dimension of our economics entirely changed. Of course, rightly said. There are policies were framed to strengthening our economic status, increasing our employment opportunity, allowing capital flow into our nation. These policies were aimed at correcting the weakness and rigid in the various sectors of the economy, such as industry, trade, fiscal, and agriculture. The relative position of Indian economy. The discussion is suitable for a particular period only. There may be change afterward. India was 7th largest economy of the world in 2016. India was the third position after China and Japan among Asian countries. India shared 8.50% of total Asia GDP annually. This is 2016 statistics. So this is a comparative chart which is really helping us to understand our economic status. Okay, this is the main thing of the 1991 policy called liberalization, privatization, and globalization. What is meant by liberalization? Liberalization refers to a removal of or relaxation of government restriction in all stage in industry. That is delicensing, decontrol, deregulation, subsidies, that is incentive, and a greater role for financial institutions are the various factors of liberalization. After 1991, implementation of the new economic policy, liberalization insists to growth and allow the industrialist development without any restrictions. There is no restrictions for starting industry, running industry. There is no restriction. There is no difficulty to get license for starting any industry, because there is a belief behind the industry is generating more employment opportunity for the people. Privatization. Privatization means transfer of ownership and management of enterprises from public sector to private sector. That is, some of the industries specially reserved for public sector are also allowed to enter to the people, private owned owners. Decentralization, disinvestment, and opening exclusive public sector enterprises to private sector are the gateway of privatizations. Really, some of the industries are reserved for public sector. That also opened for well functioning of the industry. The private people are allowed to enter in the field. globalization. Globalization refers to the integration of the domestic economy with the rest of the world. இந்திய நாட்டு பொருளாதாரத்தை உலக நாட்டு பொருளாதாரத்தோடு கலப்பு செய்வது. This is meaning to bring foreign direct investment to our India. Number of investors and foreign investor people knocking our Indian door to start their establishment in India, that really helping to offer employment opportunity for many people. Also money supply will also increasing. Okay, so these are the that is babies of 1991 policy, LPG in short, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Industrial sector reform, of course important topic which is really helping our nation in the field of industrialization. The Prime Minister of India announced the new industrial policy on July 24th, 1991. The new policy radically liberalized the industrial policy itself and it deregulated and the industrial sector substantially. Important initiative by the government towards industrial policy. Before this, reform, while we speaking about the reform, they are taking development measures among the existing industries. There are things we needed to remove before the touching the development path. The prime objective of the industrial policy was to promote major industries from that is the list of bureaucrats or in the hands of the bureaucrats, to abolish restriction on foreign direct investment. You must allow the foreign people to enter into Indian land with their capital to start their establishment. Believed that they are definitely going to be generate our Indian economy. To liberate the indigenous enterprises from the restriction of MRTP Act, that is